Making your way through work Monday takes everything you got. Then Monday night rolls around and you realize there's a shot. You're only 10 points away. All those times when your team had no fight, they're just so gosh darn frail. Then your star quarterback let another deep ball sail, and your third round pick bet on his team. Then go check out our strip where everybody knows your pain, and they listen to complaints. You wanna be where you can see our bodies bring you no shame. You wanna go where everybody knows your pain.
Welcome back to another episode of Dad Bod Fantasy Squad. I'm here with Robbie and House tonight. We have an exciting episode for you all. We are going to talk about our tight end sleepers, and then later on we're going to get into some of our would you rathers. So first, I want to make sure you all know where to find us. Please follow us at Dad Bods on Twitter and Dad Bod Fantasy Squad on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. If you miss us live, we do post the videos on YouTube and all the other major podcast forums. Also, make sure to follow us at Tailgate Fan Club, where NFTs, Fantasy Football collide. They have some really cool giveaways and do some really awesome weekly mock drafts. Check out their Discord if you want to join fantasy football community to shoot the shit. So what's going on with you, Robbie?
Not much, buddy. Just got an 18 in this morning. Got more burnt after the Cancun weather, and it was a solid morning. Couple drinks on the course, so that's always good. House, what are you getting into, man?
Big day for me, man. Got my 7U baseball team to the championship game. Won a semifinal tonight, so we're
there we go
over here.
Big pimpin'.
Got a big 14-2 win.
We need that trophy. Bring it home.
Listen, man, this is my third straight championship game in a row, and I'm 0-2. I'm trying to avoid being Marv Levy.
We can't have that.
I know. We're trying to bring it home this time.
There you go. Alex, how's your week going, buddy?
Oh, man. So this week, this is a perfect way to segue into our new segment, Alex's Angries.
Are we doing it?
Yeah. So we're going to start our new segment, Alex's Angries. If you know me, I can get on my little Bill Burr rants. But yeah, this week was there
we go. What is grinding your gears tonight?
In that picture is my braces. Right. So, I think most people in Ohio had a pretty awesome week with, hundreds of thousands going out without power, which was really awesome. And AEP's, their excuse was, hey, our grid is overpowered right now. We're about to have a blackout. So because of how hot it is, we're using more energy, so we have to do this. Like, there was never going to be a hottest day of the year, AEP. That was never going to happen. How do you not prepare for that? Doesn't make any sense. So not only was it 100 degrees outside and the power being out, per usual, Columbus continues to confirm that nobody knows how to drive and they don't understand traffic laws at 100%. All.
It's the ridiculous. Worst part of living in Columbus.
Yeah. So you go, you get outside, get ready to go to work, and then you hit your first traffic light. There's no power. So where I live, you have High Street, and you have this weird, road that can only go across High Street. You can't turn left or right. So it was like playing Frogger on the way to work. Mm-hmm. So nobody's stopping. It's a 4-way stop, but nobody understands that. It was not fun at all. It's already delaying me. I need to get my chocolate shake and espresso from Starbucks, so that's already grinding my gears. Yep. And then, right, and then it's these people act like they just got an early birthday present from the world. It's like the movie Italian Job. You have Seth Green behind the database, just getting into the Ohio Department of Transportation, just clearing a path just for them, just so they can get to Bob Evans to get their over easy eggs and their burnt coffee. It's just all done for them. And then you honk at them, And then you got little old Betty waving at you. And it's like, no,
Oh,
Betty,
Betty.
this isn't Martha, from your mall walkers group. Like, what do you think's going on? Like, it just
So
doesn't make it.
You're
Go ahead.
slamming on the horn at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
That was your
and it's
morning.
just this silly wave. Like, hey, like, no. Like, this is,
You just want to say hi. That's why you honked.
yeah. And it's like, I want to scream at this old lady, but it's like, all right, have fun at your Bob Evans while I'm sitting here almost getting hit by every other car. But, I mean, I guess it could be worse. You could be Deshaun Watson right now.
Ooh, come on, man. Leave us alone.
Yeah,
Leave us
buddy.
alone. Or you could
Well,
be Mitch
I'll leave you
Trubisky
alone.
skipping camp and golfing. I was
Playing
out
teaching at
on the
Quail
golf
Hollow.
course this morning, and I saw Mitch Trubisky. And I was telling the boys over here, he was looking real out of shape. So I'm excited.
Don't make me get my terrible towel out.
All right, boys, let's get in some news of the week, or today, not the week. But yeah, so Julian Edelman kind of hinted at maybe a comeback. He said only if he's coming back to the Patriots, though. Some reports of him, Tom Brady, Gronk kind of kicking the can around again. I don't know. What do you think if he comes back? Are you even taking a swing on him?
No.
If
37,
anybody is, it's Alex.
36, 37, couple years off. I don't know. Probably not even worth consideration. Then you got Desmond Ridder. Apparently, according to Arthur Smith, he is light years ahead of other rookie quarterbacks that he's seen come through the NFL just with his acumen. So that's an interesting note. We were talking about that yesterday, me and Mario, that Ridder could, if somehow he gets on the field, we think he could kind of help the Drake London and Pitts, and he might be, a little bit of an upgrade from Mariota.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to look good in shorts in June, right? So
This is
Yeah.
very true, very
you
true.
know,
Yeah.
We'll
That
see how it
O-line's
works out.
going to be the issue.
Yeah, that's the other,
Who
concern.
moves better behind that line?
That's
Not who throws it better. Who can move
well, what
better?
Ridder ran a 4.3 or something like that. So that's
Mariota ran a 4.49, 4.5. It's
true.
It's going to be ugly. Besides for two players,
Just throw it up to Pitts. That's all I want.
right? It's
Tight end
lob it
one.
downfield.
I
Tight
told
end
Robbie
one.
yesterday. As long as it goes to Pitts, Robbie doesn't care who's back there.
I could
Yeah.
care less. Just chuck it up. And then Rojo earlier today, he said that he is looking forward to the 1-2-3 punch, not typical of your NFL running backs, with him, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Jerick McKinnon. So that's a little concerning, obviously, for anyone that's drafting, your Kansas City running backs. Apparently, they have a plan to use all three of them and use them often and interchangeable. So that's pretty concerning, especially coming this early out of camp.
Yeah, it reminds me of like all those years with the Pats, right, where they had,
Yeah.
Burkhead and White and all those
Mhm.
guys where
It's a good point.
they could blow up or they could
Week to
go
week.
for a 0, and it's a week to week thing.
Yeah.
Where you just don't know who it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's a very good point. Very good point. All right, let's get into your guys' top 8 tight ends. We'll go through this kind of quick. Me and Mario hit our top 8. We have a lot of the same guys. You have Alex. You got somebody on here that I'm gonna have to ask you about when we get to them,
Okay.
and I think you know who it is. Hunter Henry coming in at 7. So let's go through your top 8. We got Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Kittle, Kyle Pitts, Dalton Schultz with a C, Mario, Dallas Goedert, and Hunter Henry coming in at 7. Come on, why are you so high on Hunter Henry?
I mean, I almost put him as a sleeper. I mean, I think he kind of is a sleeper. I think most people have him like his ADP for tight ends around anywhere between 12 and 14.
Okay.
The way I'm looking at this year is with the hope Mac Jones does improve, which I think he does. Henry got, I think, over 90 targets last year. 60s in receptions. I think it increases a little bit. So if it doesn't need to increase a lot, but if it does, he slides into the top 10. I mean, he's What do you have? 9 touchdowns last year, I think, ballpark.
That's my concern. Does he repeat the touchdown numbers?
I think the touchdown numbers can stay anywhere between 7 and 9. Realistically, I don't see them getting much higher than that. I think target wise, I think he is going to be between the 90 and 100 targets. I think he just does a little bit more with them, and maybe has a little bit more catches. It's not like he played bad last year. I just think there's a slight improvement from him.
I agree.
And a slight improvement from Mac Jones. The receiver,
comfortable in the system, second year in the system.
He was a red zone hog.
Yeah, he always is.
Yeah.
He was in San Diego too. Every year when he was in San Diego, I took him. Yeah. I love the player.
Yeah.
Just that two tight end set, man.
Yeah, that's
be honest. No Pats bias here, Alex.
You a Pats guy too?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, one more reason that I like him.
Man,
are you a Dallas Cowboy fan too?
No.
Just get all your championships in there.
No. But obviously I'm a Brady guy. You guys know that. But no, I think Hunter Henry is on. If you give him any top quality QB, he's a top 5 tight end in the league. Yeah. With Mac Jones, I think I don't know off the top of my head, but I think I'm having around 20, anywhere between 20 and 22 this year.
Yeah, if Mac can take a step, if Mac Jones can take a step, that's fair. And he is the type of quarterback that he'll look to the center of the field.
90 targets last year for Mac. That was his safety blanket.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's fair. It's always been health too with him. As long as he can stay on the field, stay healthy. Right. He's definitely injury prone.
Oh yeah.
But when he's on the field, man, he's a monster. That's no question.
Beast.
And then Waller, you got down at 8.
Yeah.
What's your concerns with him? Because I think consensus he's around 6, maybe. So you got him a little lower than most of us.
Yeah, I think Waller's a beast. It's just with Davante Adams coming, Renfrow got crazy chemistry with Derek Carr at the end of last season. The way he finished the last half of the year was ridiculous. I think there is some production drop off with Renfrow, less targets, but I think Davante Adams gets peppered. So he's just going to lose a little bit more targets. I do have Carr throwing over 5,000 this year. I think he's going to sling it. Waller drops a little bit, but he's still obviously in my eyes a top 8 tight end. It's just the guys above them. I think a lot of those guys are just in different situations. Like Pitts is going to get targeted because there's only one other guy there. And
yeah, 100%. So I'm starting to revisit my thoughts on the Raider offense now, especially Darren Waller. I love the player. I have him at 4 currently. He's definitely going to slide at least a 6 probably. My concern, a crazy stat that I found out just digging through everything, he put up 20% of his fantasy points last year in week 1. In week 1. That's crazy. And then
that's nuts.
He flopped like a fish. I mean, if you had, that's hard to. So you got to think that the normal points per game would be the last 16 games that he played, and it was not
frustrating.
He was very
frustrating. Yeah. Last year I had him in 2 leagues. Very frustrating to have.
Yeah, you expect those big weeks from him, and it just seemed like they didn't come.
No.
Now it could open up a little bit more now that Davante is there, but I think his red zone targets are gone for the most part.
He definitely would lose his son.
Yeah. House, buddy, let's get into you. Let's see what we got here.
Sounds good.
Travis Kelce, no surprise. We got Mark Andrews coming in at 2. Kyle Pitts, I love it. You know my Kyle Pitts love. Darren Waller at 4. We just kind of went over him, so I mean, you can't hate the player. George Kittle, I'm a little lower than most. I think everyone knows that from yesterday. Baby Hawk, TJ Hawkinson, Brian's all-timer. We talked about him a little bit yesterday. I want to go into him right after we get through this, though. Dalton Schultz at 7, and your boy Dallas. So I definitely want to talk about TJ Hawkinson here. What's your love for him going into this season? Because I can't find a reason. I can't find a reason.
This.
Help
You
me
know
out
that.
here. I'm struggling. I want to be all in on him. I can't do it.
He's one for me that I went back and forth time and time again, and just that's where the numbers fell.
Okay.
It's Alex has talked about it a ton, whether it's been on here, whether it's been just in our group chats and whatever. That offense, I think, is going to be opened up a little bit. I think he has obviously the talent to do it. Goff is always a question mark in my opinion, but he's one that I could see kind of falling into that mid-range tight end one or really falling off. Like I think he's in that spot that you guys have talked about a few times where this is the year that he's either going to do it or it's just never going to happen.
Right.
I think the weapons that are around are going to open up the middle of the field a little bit more than it has been in the past. And, there's just a hunch, man. He was 6th in points per game through 13 weeks last year, 5th in targets per games from tight ends. So, I mean, he gets his share. I think that might take a hit this year, but
Okay.
it's, he's one that I really went back and forth on.
Yeah, he's a tough one for me. He really is because I see it. I see the potential.
Mm-hmm.
He just hasn't done it. I've been all about him since he came into the league, and every year he's just one of those players that I think he's burned me one too many times.
Right.
That it's tough for me to get on board. Okay, and you guys are both higher on Dallas than I am. He's another one I'm struggling to find the love for.
It's because Jalen Hurts is going to ball out.
Come on, you're on Mario.
I think the opposite. I have Goddard there because I don't think Hurts balls out. I think he's going to have two weapons on the outside he doesn't know what to do with, and it's just going to end up being dump-offs to Goddard.
Interesting.
That's
Still get stats, though, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I have Goddard there for that reason.
See, that was my question is, what is Hurts going to do with the weapons? Where's he gonna go? Because they're only gonna throw the ball. They're sub 500. They're gonna throw it under 500 times.
Yeah.
So those targets are. It's gonna be tough to get all those weapons involved enough to be. Someone's gonna be left out.
It was a bad trade for the Eagles to get AJ Brown.
Somebody's gonna be left out, and I'm curious who it's gonna be. It's not gonna be AJ Brown because they just spent. What did they pay him? $80 million or however much money?
They're
a lot.
So he's gonna be involved. Like there's no question about that.
He's a beast, but they just used the first. They used the first round pick to get him. They used the first round pick to get Smith, and then
that's my concern.
Smith's the odd man out of this group, but like the way I'm looking at next season is Hurts is going to be rolling out because he can't help himself, and who's he going to dump it off to? That tight end doing that 10-yard rollout. Like
that's a fair point. That would be where
dumped off.
I think that's the only way he gets in the top 10 tight ends for me is if it's
talent-wise, he's not better than the rest of the 13.
No, he's good though. He was very. I mean, he's been productive. So he is. It's just for me the quarterback. Yeah, it's just where's this coming? Can he do it in the red zone?
Doesn't matter how you get it as long as you get it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Maybe he's another one I need to revisit. All right. So before we get into your guys' sleepers, I saw something so egregious that I had to bring this up. I mean, I was blown, but the two, specifically you two, I'm looking at both of you. Why? Why? What are you guys doing to me?
Does Aaron Rodgers throw to tight ends?
Yes.
Now let me go down this here.
Named
we went over this last night. He was tight end 3 in 2020. Tight end 3. He would have put up enough points to be tight end 4 last year. Come on.
No.
Help me out. He tore his ACL.
Correct.
I know it. Whatever. Who cares? It's the NFL now. That happens every year. He's still young. He's still good. There's still no weapons besides him there. You're killing me. So Alex, you got him at 21, and how's 23?
Yeah, I'm wrong.
23?
You're right. I was
I'll move
listening
him
last
up.
night.
Oh,
You guys are correct.
oh my God.
I like Tunyon more than I put on there, and I don't know why.
He's my sweet
I need to
darling.
revisit
If I
that.
can get him in every draft, I'll be happy, man.
I'll move him up.
Don't do it for the sake of me.
No.
Hold your stance, Alex. Puff your chest out.
Well, what I'm saying is I'm still not putting it in the top 15. It's just I need to see it before.
So
like
crazy.
I've seen Aaron
Okay.
Rodgers. There's been 2 good fantasy seasons for tight ends in the last 12 years.
He was one of them.
Yeah, and I get that, but like the consistency, with Aaron, I have to see it. In
Okay.
theory, he's had a good year with him, but other tight ends have too. I need to see it. I need to see what they're going to do with Dylan and Jones. Could he end up being in the top 10? I mean, the dude could end up if Aaron Rodgers is a QB, he could be the number 1 tight end in football if Aaron Rodgers wanted him to be. That's not really a question. It's whether it's going to happen. It's
fair.
all about scheme.
That's fair.
I don't hate that you guys put him like he could be a top 10. That's to me he could be a sleeper, but I need to see it. It's just based off of it's Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. I need to see more production out of tight ends besides 2 years in the last decade plus.
I love it.
I do have some concerns that the lack of the weapons on the outside impacts him, but I do agree that I am probably lower than I should be.
Yeah, I think you guys are egregiously low, and
You're
killing me.
ridiculously high as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All
We
right.
probably
shall
are,
see.
the happy medium is probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair assessment. All right, let's get into Alex, your sleeper number 1 over here. One of my favorites too. I'm a big fan of him this year.
Yeah.
With some contingencies, but go on. Take the lead.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to put him. I probably would have put him a little bit higher, maybe even borderline top 5 if Deshaun Watson was going to play this year, which isn't going to happen. But with Jacoby, the one thing that benefits Njoku is there isn't a ton of outside guys that I mean, Donovan Peoples-Jones has the talent, but for 2 years straight, we just haven't seen the targets and it making sense. Amari Cooper is a route technician.
Mhm.
I don't think Jacoby's that good to where he's going to be dumping it off to the tight end a lot. If you're not good, you look for your running backs on the outside and you look for your tight ends. That's just what happens. And Njoku just got a contract. The Browns finally realized that the talent was way better with him than it was with Hooper. He's going to get targets. When it comes down to it, he's going to get a ton of targets.
I agree with that. I'm big on him. Even with both quarterbacks, I still think I'm higher with Deshaun Watson because he can definitely make things happen, and you can use Njoku in a bunch of different ways. He's a freak athlete, so I think his big value this year is going to be in the red zone. I think he's going to be heavily targeted, which will be it's going to be, hopefully it pans out and he comes down with 10 double-digit touchdowns, which will be surprising. And he wasn't even on the field as much as he should have been last year. So I'm with you. And yeah, like you said, now he's the man there. So
he's a freak. Didn't he have like a 44 or 45-inch vertical, something ridiculous for a tight end?
And he's still, he is.
Yeah.
He's been in the league. He came in the league when he was 19. So I believe he's still 23, 24.
Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
Not 25.
25. We're going to have to fact check me on that. But yeah, I know he came in at 19. So he probably started his rookie at 20. So yeah, 25 makes sense. But yeah, I'm with you. House, what do you think about him?
So I have him as an honorable mention for my sleepers as I was prepping for this. So I actually have him ranked pretty low. I think I have him at 20, and it's solely based on the quarterback situation.
Yeah.
I think if Deshaun was there, he gets those 10 touchdowns that you talked about, but I think he gets less with Jacoby Brissett.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I'd really like to see in this entire conversation is for Alex to mimic that hairstyle in that picture.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think that
I'll
would
do
be-
it. Don't
I think that
tempt
would
me,
be
man.
something good for us on the pod moving forward.
That's it. Maybe if he
is,
comes in, whoever finishes last in the Dynasty League this year can pull that.
Yeah, pull some
Pull that
Paul
card.
Rudd, just
There you
slapping the bass.
So, Njoku going ADP tight end 21.
That's crazy.
153rd overall. He was tight end 22 last year, 104 points in 14 games. We kind of talked about why I personally think that he was underutilized there. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, tight end 21. Me, I have no questions about buying there. That's your tight end 2. That's your backup tight end for somebody that has the potential. So let me ask you this, Alex. This is your sleeper.
Mhm.
What do you think his ceiling is?
Probably like tight end 8 or 9.
Okay.
I think that's his ceiling. I honestly think his floor is like 15.
Okay. Yeah, I'm there. See, it's such a tricky offense, just with so much, all the concerns. It's so
Yeah.
hard to kind of predict, even with Brissett. So that's kind of how you have to do it. Like you have to look at if Brissett's the quarterback.
This is the best O-line Brissett's played behind. So that's the one thing.
1,000%.
So that's the one thing he's got going for him. He's never been a downfield guy, even when he had T.Y. Hilton. I think Cooper, obviously, he's going to get a ton of targets, but Hunt should eat and so should Njoku because there's no Watson. Like those two are going to be the ones whose draft is going to be climbing.
Yeah, it's an interesting team to watch. There's going to be a lot of. I think there's going to be a lot of dominoes that fall once the suspension takes place, and then we'll figure everything out from there. But yeah, I'm cool. So tight end 8, you think could be the ceiling? I don't disagree. All right, let's see. So your second sleeper, we got Cole Kmet, which he's on my list for sure. I'm a big fan of him this season. I think he's on a lot of sleeper lists, but what's your reasoning for it?
I mean, the dude coming out of college was a monster.
Yeah.
And I think the Bears drafting him, I think a lot of people thought he was going to be the next Greg Olsen. Just get peppered, had freak ability, could run, was tall, could block. It's just the only thing holding him back was literally, arguably one of the worst head coaches in the last decade, and Justin Fields. Now, with Justin Fields, I still don't think he's very good, but with Allen Robinson gone, they didn't really add anybody to the outside. Who they add, like Pringle?
Did they? Yeah, they brought in Pringle. Good.
Yeah,
and they brought in that rookie Dallas.
Yeah,
Dallas Jones, So no weapons. They didn't add any weapons, really, to be honest.
Right. So who's gonna get? I mean, Montgomery is a good guy to have on your team this year, and I think Kmet kind of the same thing. I mean, Kmet could honestly this could be his breakout year to where honestly, I think his ceiling's like a tight end 5.
I do too. I really think it could be the year because you got to think he's gonna get at least 100 targets.
Oh, easily.
Sure.
At least, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's, I mean, how many tight ends can say that? Not a lot. I mean, Kittle barely gets 100, and he's one of the best in the league.
Right.
But yeah, I'm with you. What's your thoughts on Cole Kmet?
Yeah, so I actually had him listed as my honorable mentions here as well.
I think. So, I mean,
it bothers me that Alex and I are on the same wavelength.
See, that's the question. That's my question too. Well, go ahead, Alex. We'll get there.
So I'll jump back in here real quick, but I think I brought up Kmet on our buy lows, if memory serves as well. And I think it's all volume, right? So he had 93 targets last year. Yeah. He's going to get 100 plus. He's not going to go another year where he doesn't score a touchdown because he had 0 last year.
That's so crazy.
Exactly. And I think he's, at least according to what I'm looking at, Robbie, I see your face there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually just pulled him up on Fantasy Pros as well, and it says that his strength of schedule, tight end rank first, is the easiest tight end schedule as well. So favorable matchups there. He's going to have a year as long as Fields can get him the ball.
Exactly. Again, I think it boils back down to Justin Fields and what the offense can kind of produce around him and the schematic, the scheme that they pull out, which I think will be very Darnell, Mooney, Cole Kmet heavy.
Oh yeah,
and Montgomery. I think they're just going to pepper those three and, live and die by those three. So I'm all on board with him. I think, I mean, yeah. That's my other question, right? So I got him ADP tight end 14 right now. How long do you think that lasts?
a month.
Right? I think it's going to creep up to tight end. He might be going tight end 8 off the board.
As soon as those, as soon as you start seeing videos, those hype videos coming out of camp and closer to preseason, and you're going to see Fields just targeting Kmet nonstop. It's. I remember when Pat Mahomes, his first year starting, and just all the videos of Mahomes and Hill. And Hill wasn't getting drafted. His ADP was low. And Mahomes was kind of mediocre. And then you just start seeing him get peppered. And, obviously it panned out for the guys who did take Mahomes and Hill that year because it was, the best duo in the NFL. I think it can be something like that. I mean, Fields is the good thing for him is he's got some legs. He can move around. Yeah. And it benefits Kmet that he can do that.
100%. Yeah. That's another team that I'm really interested to see how the year plays out because there's a lot on the line this year. They're already talking about replacing Fields. So
he's bad.
I was just going to say, what happens when the videos come out of him overthrowing Kmet over and over again?
Oh, those won't come out. We'll make sure.
Or throwing him into the ground. Somebody will get him.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Ohio State QBs,
I'm pulling for him.
Exactly.
They're always good.
He'll be all right. House. Let's get into some of yours, buddy. So we got Logan Thomas. This one threw me. So go ahead, do your thing over here.
Yeah. So I don't know that you can have a 30-year-old tight end as a sleeper. But if you look at him in his production, the first couple years in the leagues, he was kind of a bit player, right? So like the second tight end on a team, third tight end on a team. But in 2020, he had 72 catches and 6 TDs. Before he got hurt last year, small sample size, he was tight end 7. Was tight end 7 in 2020 as well, and 4 points from being top 5. So questions about his health coming into the year and availability because of the injury. He hurt his knee. I think he's one that is not going to be your tight end 1, but I think you could stash him as your tight end 2 and get some good value to potentially win you a game, playing a matchup or a bye week later on.
That's fair, right? So all these sleepers that we're kind of talking about for the most part, besides Cole Kmet, if you can get them as your tight end 2, and that's what you're looking for, right? You're looking for that potential. Just like the Njoku, just like, Logan Thomas. If you get a potential top 8 tight end as your backup tight end, that is prime trade real estate that you can go get yourself a league, go package them up and go get a league winner running back or something that'll put you over the top. So these are the prime real estate that you got. If you can hit on it, you can pull something nice out of it.
Yeah, I think there's a real wide range where he's going to go, right? So I don't think there's a super high ceiling. I don't think he's going to end up tight end 5 like he, started the year off or was in 2020. But he could get into that 12, 13, 14 range where he's a viable option for you each week.
It's fair. Yeah, so he's going ADP tight end 22, so right after Njoku, 159th overall. Yes, like we said, he only played 5 games last year, so stats are kind of irrelevant. Alex, what's your thoughts on Logan Thomas?
I mean, when you were saying, "Hey, House, what's your sleeper?" and he said Logan Thomas, I'm like, did he think he meant Zoloft? Like, this guy has barely played. Was a quarterback and then backup tight end for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And he did have one pretty productive year in 2020.
He shows flashes. He does.
Yeah, he's just never healthy.
What was he? He had a lot of concussions. Is that what was going on?
He's
A few
had
years back?
everything. Yeah, there was a year where he had like
he was
no
beat up.
Reed had. I think Jordan Reed is the one who had.
Was it
crazy
Reed? Is that who I'm
yeah.
thinking of?
But I think the talent. I mean, he's tall. He can move well. It's just he's not healthy. It's a new system to where I think it benefits if Scary Terry doesn't end up playing for the Commanders. Then yeah, I could see him getting there. But him even being at like ADP 22, it's like I could put him at ADP 20, 22 if he plays 15 games.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like,
I mean, the thing there, like we just said, right?
Huge question.
ADP with him and Njoku, I think it's a no-brainer. You pull the trigger on Njoku.
For sure, exactly. With Logan Thomas, it's to me, realistically, I think his ceiling, absolute highest ceilings maybe like 13, 14, 15, somewhere in that area. I just don't put him in that top tier. Top tier with the other tight ends.
It's fair. It's
you really meant sleeper.
Definitely a swing. Definitely a swing.
I'm looking for players that are going to get the job done a week in, a week out.
Right.
They're not.
Speaking of swing, Brevin Jordan.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, let's hear what you got here.
Hey, again, these first couple guys that I targeted are going to be those fill-ins, right? They're never going to be your tight end one.
I don't hate it.
They can win you a week or two though, and
I don't hate this pick.
He had 4 top 12 finishes in the last 9 games last year.
Okay.
So the production was there. They lost. Who was the other guy? Was it Akins? Which doesn't sound like a big loss.
Is Darren Fells still there? He's not there, right?
I have no idea, to be completely honest.
That team was such a mishmash of
but
the misfit toys, the land of misfit toys.
Yeah,
it really was.
On a questionable offense, he is very clearly their primary receiving tight end.
He's their number one tight end. He is their number one.
Yeah. So who are their weapons?
He might even be available in your leagues, like to pick up late. And that's. I'm looking at sleepers. It's who are some of those guys I can find super late in drafts or first couple weeks free agency that I can plug in and feel confident that they could have a good week.
They can get you 10 points.
Yep. And I think
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I don't hate this.
He fits that mold.
I'd rather much have him than Logan Thomas.
Same.
ADP tight end 31, 242nd overall. So you're probably right. You can probably wait it out and pick him up weeks, a couple weeks in, as long as he doesn't break out. You're fine.
As long as Mario doesn't change the rules on you when you pick people
up.
All right, let's get into your final sleeper here. Irv Smith Jr. He was my breakout candidate last year before the whole. I thought he was going to be a top 5 tight end.
Yeah.
Before his season-ending knee injury in the preseason. ADP tight end 17, 129th overall. He had 98 fantasy points in 2020 as tight end 22. And like I said, he missed all of 2021. So, House, what do you like?
Yeah. I think there's been some discussion in our group, and I think we're all pretty high on him coming back, right? I know there are some in our crew that really love the potential that Irv Smith has here. So what was weird to me as I was doing research is he actually drops if you look at standard versus PPR. So he's going lower in PPR than he is in standard leagues, which seemed a little bit odd to me. They say he's back running routes in OTAs. We always give Mario crap about June football, but I think when you're coming back from an injury and they're doing stuff,
it's important to watch.
It's important. New head coach already said that he's going to be a major part of what they do. I think he has, again, this is not a deep sleeper because I think the word's out on him. And I think he has top 12, like tight end 1 upside. So tight end 17, 129, I'm taking that all day.
I like that. See, yeah, he's the kind of swing that I would love to take as my tight end too.
Yeah, for sure.
If he's your
Yeah.
tight end too, you're loving it.
You're in real good shape.
Yeah, Alex,
Yeah.
what do you like him?
No, I do. I mean, he's not the biggest tight end in football, but he also runs like a receiver.
Yeah.
It's going to be health. What the scheme looks like. I mean, I have him at like 21 right now, or kind of maybe 21. I have him 17. All right, I have him
Okay.
17.
Right where he's going.
Right. So I think, it's one of to me, I think 17 might be his floor.
Okay.
And I think,
I'm with you on
kind of, right. And I think his ceiling, I think it could be top 10. I don't see him getting in the top 5, but I could definitely see him squeaking in the top 10. It just kind of depends on how healthy he stays, what Kirk does. I mean, I know we've had discussions about Kirk a lot. I think Kirk's very good, and I think Kirk wants to give Smith the ball. I think he really does. It's just, it's whether it's health and what the scheme looks like, but I don't hate it. Sleepers is great.
I really think they're going to go very pass heavy this year.
100%.
Bringing in O'Connell from LA. I just think it's a perfect marriage with him and Kirk Cousins. That the head coach.
It really can be.
I truly think that he's going to have his best season under like this year. I think this is the year and I think Justin Jefferson could be a duplicate of Cooper Kupp from last year. I think this offense has the potential to be very scary.
Yeah, could be definitely top 5 offense.
Yeah, so I'm all in on this pick. I think he's gonna be very good by the end of it here.
How many primetime games do they have? Because Kirk does not perform well in those traditionally.
He is terrible in primetime. I don't get it.
That's a good question.
Doesn't make any sense.
But boys, we're done with the sleepers. Now we got the fun part. A little would you rather. So let's get into this. We'll throw it up. Alex, I'll let you start. And we're going to go with would you rather Tom Brady or Jared Goff?
For this year?
Turkey Tom this year.
Turkey Tom.
Tom. So QB3 last year in 2021, 361 points. Obviously, you got to take another ADP going. It just blows my mind. He's going quarterback 9 after being quarterback 3. It's so crazy to me. I know he doesn't run, but
he
gets like 40 touchdowns a year. Jared Goff, QB 25 in 2021 with 197 fantasy points. He did add a ton of weapons, and I think this offense will be improved for sure. I don't think he'll finish at quarterback 28. I think that's way low for him. But
I think it all depends on your strategy. If you're going into a draft and it's kind of like, depending on how you want to build it, whether it's running back heavy early or wide receiver, I think it depends on how you build your team. I think in the perfect situation, you want to get Brady, but it depends how much he costs. Like if Brady drops to around a QB 7, 8, or 9, you have to take him. But if he's QB, 1, 2, or 3, if people are looking to grab him, then no, you let him pass. And then I would honestly, I don't hate taking Goff way late in the rounds and just load up your team with everybody else.
Would you be comfortable with Goff being your quarterback?
My QB1?
Yeah. Like say you have.
It really depends on how my front end of the draft looks.
So I'm trying to think, who would you even have your backup quarterback?
So you're not willing to commit, is what you're saying.
I would take Brady. I would take Brady.
Say Baker Mayfield gets traded to Carolina. Okay.
Yeah.
And you have your quarterbacks Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield.
Jared Goff. No question.
Okay.
It's easy.
Alex, this was done specifically with you in mind, buddy.
This was
it's your all-time man
Jared
crush.
Goff.
It's your all-time man crush versus your up-and-comer.
Yes.
The guy that just caught your eye this year.
And you thought it was going to be easy? You thought I was just going to be like, oh, this is easy. No. I have the QB who I think is going to rise the most and is going to be on one of the most underrated teams this year. And then you have Brady, who has the same ridiculous weapons with Russell Gage out.
Let me me ask you a
Godwin's
question.
out half the year. No
Yeah.
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown. I mean, Brady was fine without him.
Is the 2.5 points a game difference that you have them ranked worth whoever you would get differently between those ADPs?
Wow. That's where your points are, 2.5 points.
2.5 per game. So it's like 42 points difference in your rankings. So does that change your opinion at all?
That adds up
No,
quick.
I got to take. I would probably take Brady, but the thing is, me personally, I'm not taking a QB early.
He just
So
can't quit Brady. That's what it is.
realistically, the way I draft, I'm taking Jared Goff.
It's a fair point. That's a tricky one, right?
I'm confident.
It's trickier
I'm
than you
confident
think.
in
It really is.
it is. It's a hard question.
Obviously, you want to say, yeah, I'm going to take Tom Brady all day. But then you got to look at, okay, are you willing to what? It's round 7. You got to use
Too
the
many
7th round pick.
receivers available.
Yeah, that's high. I mean,
Now it's like we know going into next year, running backs are gold. Like
I keep fading him too. I keep fading Tom Brady. It's like,
Can't.
when's this year, man? When's the year? It just doesn't come. He's
got to fall off eventually.
Bays
I've
in
been
the
saying
fountain of
that
youth.
for 10 years.
Yeah, I would just want him to win it, just ride off into the sunset, dude. And then no one can talk shit. He could have played the rest of his life, and he would have been just as good.
He's not committed this year, though. It kind of seems like he's kind of saying like, I don't love football as much. Blah blah. He'll still throw 40 touchdowns.
Yeah, he will. House, I'm assuming you're going with Tom Brady.
No, the way I draft, I'm taking that quarterback late.
Oh, a little Jared Goff love.
I don't
and I really
particularly
do
like Jared Goff either, but I'm probably not taking Brady in that.
Yeah,
Alex, I'm with
range.
you too. I really think Detroit's not going to be as bad as people are making it out to be. I think the offense could be good.
Going to be better than the Browns.
Eat it over there. If we got Watson, we'll be fine. But it's a big
Well,
if.
you're not.
It's a big if right now.
Get it out of your head.
2023, bud.
Yeah.
2023.
2023.
We'll
There's
still
no
be
way
better
he's
than you.
playing this year. It's not happening.
Brissett's better than whoever you got coming in.
No, he's not.
Oh,
All right, let's get into the second. Let's get into the second. Would you rather? While I'm getting double teamed over here by the Pittsburgh fans. All right. We have Amari Cooper and Lockett.
That's a good one.
This is a good one.
That's a good one.
I do like this one. It threw me for a little.
Tread
I had to
lightly,
think about
Alex.
it.
Tread lightly. I got receipts, buddy.
Oh, here we go. Maybe I'll just sit back and let the.
House, you already
duke it
know
out.
the answer. You already know what I'm
is
going to
it?
say.
What
Come
is it?
on. Tyler Lockett all day.
You'd rather have Tyler Lockett.
Yes. I would have said Amari Cooper if Deshaun Watson is quarterback, but he's not. Taking Tyler Lockett all day.
So here's what I'm gathering from this episode. I think maybe the Dad Bod Fantasy Squad needs to take a permanent break from Browns players until the Watson saga is over.
I think
It's coming. It's coming out soon.
I think
It's going to be
you
very soon.
Browns fans need to just. I think some of you are accepting that Watson's not going to play. It's not happening. I think. Oh, what's that? I think I just saw another allegation just pop up on my screen. Just kidding.
I'm
But
just saying. I think
it's not happening.
I don't know. I don't even
Jacoby
want to speak on
Brissett,
it.
Amari Cooper. What happens?
I don't even want to speak on it. Well, that's the thing. Like until we fully know what's going on, it's tough to. Because what if
Jacoby
you get
Brissett.
say you get eight Brissett and 8 Watson, right? With Amari Cooper, who are you taking?
Tyler Lockett.
House.
In that scenario where I have Watson for a bit, I'm probably looking at wide receiver 19. I'm probably going with Amari Cooper. Alex has to say Tyler Lockett because I have text messages where he says Lockett, GOAT.
See,
and that's
yeah,
all it says.
that's
Beast.
And he's got great numbers, and it was shocking to look at the numbers over the last couple years. But he's got Geno or Drew Lock, and not Russ, who can throw the deep
Yep.
ball better than darn near anybody in the league.
So,
and
ADP's
he's a
throwing me
guy
off
that gets
here.
downfield.
Look at that
ADP's
ADP. Look at that ADP. Look at
I
that
don't
ADP.
think. I truly do not think Cooper will be. He might stay at 19.
He's a
Like,
wide receiver 1, so
he
it's
is.
kind of hard.
It's tough because you might be able to get him at a steal if, say, Watson's suspended the whole year, right? Say he's suspended the whole year. His ADP might drop far enough where it's a steal because he's still gonna get 130 targets no matter what, and he'll be open because that's what he does. So
Can I pile on here?
go ahead, buddy.
Alex's rankings. Tyler Lockett, higher than Jalen Waddle, higher than DJ Moore, higher than Deontay Johnson.
Oh, come on. And you're a Pittsburgh
Oh,
fan?
no,
he's
I'm not.
He's a
Pittsburgh
Pats fan. He's
I'm a
a
Pats
Oh, you're
fan.
not a Pittsburgh
We don't
fan.
want
Okay,
him.
I'm
I'm a
sorry. I thought
Pittsburgh
you
guy.
two
We
were
don't want
both
him.
Pittsburgh.
Come on.
You're
Not
just
messing
strictly
with-
a Pats fan?
Yeah, I'm just a Pats fan. I would like to see the Browns
Where'd you
do
grow
well. I grew up in Columbus, Ohio.
What the hell's wrong with you, man?
He loves
That's the
Tom
first-
Brady.
the first
He has
team.
a man crush.
Can we block
Yeah.
him out?
I'm a
Somebody
Michigan.
block him.
I'm a Michigan fan. I'm a Brady guy. I have Bledsoe jersey. I have a Troy Brown jersey.
So you're just one of those people.
No, I've been a Pats
He's one
fan.
of those people.
I'm-
He
I
likes
was a-
Kentucky basketball. He likes
No,
the
I don't.
Lakers.
No,
Do you
I
like
don't.
Duke?
I don't really watch college basketball.
Okay. So that's why you don't like Duke.
Likes
All right.
the Yankees.
You're a Yankees guy?
Our family grew up Yankees fans they're from New York, so
Okay.
that was. But I don't watch baseball.
You
so.
seem like one of those people that I'm in
'Cause
the
of one
city, so I'm
team.
going to root for the other
One-
team.
one
That's your
sport, but I've been a Pats fan since '99.
I remember walking in the snow.
Yeah. I still have my junior size Troy Brown jersey that I got in Gloucester, Massachusetts.
Yeah. Okay.
How
Whatever,
any
dude.
self-respecting Pats fan can like the Yankees as much as you do. I don't understand.
The Yankee. I don't even talk about baseball.
You just got called a big Yankees guy.
Hold on.
I
I'm
don't
throwing it
even
up.
know who their starting pitchers are. I couldn't even tell you. Big Yankees guy.
Ryan
Yeah.
Dalton over here he's saying
He knows what's up.
seems to, he seems to think otherwise over there.
I mean, when I was younger, when I watched baseball, it wasn't a choice. It was, hey, you're gonna watch the New York Yankees.
That's what they all
All right, let's get off of baseball. Let's get back onto this topic.
Yeah, thank
So-
God, please.
Me personally, I cannot stand Tyler Lockett. So
So
yeah, I'm taking Amari Cooper here, even if Brissett's the quarterback.
crazy.
100%.
It's like the Brandon Cooks.
so let's look
It
at
doesn't
this.
make sense.
He's gonna
Brissett-
fall off so much with Geno or Drew. Lock.
Brissett is a better quarterback than whatever they got going on in Seattle. Yes or no?
100%.
True or no?
I don't think so.
Oh my goodness,
I really don't.
my man. Are you a Seattle fan too?
No, I just watch football.
Really likes North Carolina State.
So you okay? Geno
don't-
Smith, huh? Neither of
just-
them can throw. Well, Drew Lock can, but he's just so bad that they're not going to play him. If he's losing out to Geno.
I think
Smith.
Geno's better than Jacoby.
Geno's going to win the start. It seems like it. He's going to be the starter.
Yeah,
And
Geno's better, and he's going to. He had good connection with Metcalf.
Don't
I
see it,
think
man.
Geno's going to do better than what people think. Lockett's still going to get targets, man. He gets open. He's a blazer. He's super smart. I mean, he's one of the smartest receivers in the NFL. He finds ways. He finds pockets
Sure. He'll have big games. There's no question.
for sure.
But then he'll put
Roller
up
coaster.
two in a game or two in a row that are 5 and 8, and then he loses
Where
you
their
that week.
ADPs are, I'm going to take Lockett's big games over. I had Cooper last year, and it was so frustrating having him with Dak Prescott as QB.
And I had Lockett last year, and I tried to trade him to everybody, and nobody even wanted him.
Well, last year was weird. I mean, for the Seahawks, it was a weird season.
And 2
Metcalf
years
didn't do-
ago,
Metcalf didn't do well. Like he went super high last year. It didn't pay off for anyone. Russell got hurt. Geno goes into, Geno will be better. Lockett will be fine. Wide receiver 33, that's a crime. You got to take him.
Alex said teams should trade a second-round pick for current Tyler Lockett.
I'm not touching.
I said the
Tyler Lockett.
Browns.
I'll never
I said the
have him.
Browns.
I would have loved the Browns. He's a good player.
Yeah.
hate.
Would you have rather
fantasy wise? I hate it.
Would you rather have Tyler Lockett
Cooper?
than Cooper? All right.
Not even a question. Talent wise, like Cooper is far superior.
I don't think so.
I do. I don't even think
made Tyler Lockett.
close.
Russ made Tyler Lockett.
100%. This was a good one, but let's keep chugging. This one I like a lot. This is a tricky one, right? So we got Aaron Jones and his counterpart AJ Dillon. So he's going. He was RB11. Aaron Jones RB11 last year with 177 fantasy points. ADP RB15, 25th overall. AJ Dillon was RB20, 144 fantasy points. ADP RB25, 55th overall. It's a big jump in ADP. So it is. This one's a tough one. House, what do you like?
So this is 100% based on your league settings. PPR, I'm going Jones all day. At that range, but
let's call it half point.
Okay,
split the difference. Half point PPR.
If it's half, I'm probably still going with Jones.
Yeah.
At 25 RB 15. I think he's going to be used in a lot of different ways. I think they're both going to be on the field at the same time. I think he's going to get split out. I think Dillon's going to be in the backfield. And the thing that concerns me with doing that is that I think Dillon is going to score a ton of touchdowns, which could inflate those numbers because I think he's going to get every carry inside the 20. I think Jones is going to be 20 to 20 and in the pass game, and I think they're just going to hammer Dillon. I see that going. I see that leaning.
Inside the 20s.
This year it's Jones. Next year, in the same scenario, I think you're going to see Dillon drafted higher than Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I agree. I think inside the 20s, you're going to see a lot of A.J. Dillon. But I agree with that. I think Aaron Jones – so this backfield reminds me so much of what I'm thinking Dallas is going to do with Tony Pollard and Zeke. Yeah, I think it's the same exact scenario.
I agree.
And I love the receiving back in fantasy. Because at this point, I mean, who is playing standard? You at least are playing half point, right? For the most part.
I mean, nine times throw it out there.
9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
So with that, I agree. I think Aaron Jones, again, A-Rod likes people he passes to before. He likes people he knows. Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Robert Tonyan.
You're right.
Alan Lazard. He likes people he knows. So I think he's going to be a sneak. Like, I really do like him a lot this year, and I plan on owning him in a ton of leagues if I can. AJ Dillon, though, yeah, he's gonna get some touchdowns, and I think they're gonna get away from passing in the red zone because they were one of the most pass-heavy red zone offenses with Devontae Adams. This is another tricky one.
That's why Tanyan's not going to score.
Alex, who you like on this one?
I mean, I'm taking Aaron Jones. I mean, I try to make the argument for Dillon. Now, with Jones I honestly think his ADP is probably around where he finishes. I don't think he's a top 10 back, only because A.J. Dillon is going to take some touches. It's going to be really hard. I don't care how many targets he gets out of the backfield. It's going to be really hard to be a top 10 back when you're going to be splitting half of your actual carries to another running back.
So where do you think A.J. Dillon falls? Where do you think he finishes?
I think probably around 20 to 23 range. They're just not going to – I think there's going to be like maybe 6 spot difference between both of them.
So kind of chalk with where the ADP is? Yeah.
I mean, I typically don't agree all the time with ADP, but it's it's pretty close. But yeah, you got to take Jones. I mean, just because he is more efficient. When he gets the ball in his hands, he still is more efficient than Dillon, and he's going to get the catches.
Our group's pretty on point with that ADP too. We have them at 15 and 25.
Do we?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's right.
Well, no, 15. I'm sorry, 15 and 24.
Yeah. That's
But
hilarious.
the average rank for Dylan was 25, but he's our 24th overall.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep on chugging. We got another RB duo. This one, I like this one too.
Mario's just
Mario's
Mario's
gonna
boys.
cry.
grave. He's
Well,
crying.
Melvin Gordon III and Javonte Williams. Melvin Gordon was RB18 last year, 151 fantasy points, going RB37, 101st overall. Javonte finished 16th, 155 fantasy points, going RB8. Wow. 15th overall. Okay. House, what do you think?
This is a tough one, man, because I look at if I in a redraft, I mean, Dynasty, there's no question, right? I think
100%.
right.
Yeah.
we all agree on that. So if it's redraft and I'm looking, if I'm looking at my needs and it's like, all right, I got a stud running back already, do I potentially want to take a second, at RB18? Is that what we said?
He's RB8.
I thought it said 18 on there.
15
Yeah,
overall.
Is that a typo? Oh, 15
Yeah.
overall.
15 overall.
I'm looking at the wrong thing. My bad. Yeah, so that's going to be dependent on do I want to take that receiver? Or do I want to take that running back there? Then,
yeah, it's saying so. Are you comfortable?
No way.
It's tough. See, if he's going RB8, you would assume it'd be
That's
closer to like
nuts.
12 overall. Because who else
Yeah.
would be going? You know what I mean? Who else would be
Well,
going?
you're going to get Cup in there. You're probably going to get Jefferson.
That's 7 picks though.
Somebody will reach for Jamar Chase probably.
Probably, I agree with that.
Um,
Kelsey.
You might get it. I was going to say you'll get a tight.
Right,
One of the
tight
tight ends will be there.
Okay,
So I could see that happening. But
would you be comfortable with him being your RB1? Is what I kind of think it boils down to. And I wouldn't. I can't do
Javonte
it.
is your RB1?
Yeah,
not with that
can't do it.
timeshare.
There's no way.
No, not at R. I mean, at RB8, he's going RB8. That's a RB1.
Russell Wilson benefits Gordon.
Yeah,
Like he's got a
100%.
history of being a catching back, like a top 10 fantasy running back because he can catch the ball. I mean, Williams, Dynasty, it's not a question. With Melvin, it's if your EDP is RB37 or you're going to take Williams at like 8, like who else is going 8?
Yeah.
You have maybe Chubb, Kamara, Henry, maybe. Like, are you going to take Javonte Williams over any of those guys? Like, no, not in your right mind. You're never going to do that. So Dynasty, but no, Melvin Gordon all day.
Yeah. So if he's 15 overall,
yeah.
I've had a pick in the first round. Let's assume I've taken one of those running backs. If I come back and get a receiver there, and I can wait, and even if it's my third running back off the board, if I can get Gordon, and he's fallen into the range with like Walker in Seattle, Edmonds in Miami.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if
all
you can
kind
get
of in
him,
that Ramondre Stevenson,
yeah,
like they're all kind of in that same tier. Michael Carter's even close. If they're my third running back, I think there's more value in that than there is in Javonte as your
All day.
let me see, he's going 101st overall.
Yeah.
I mean, that's getting into like
You know who's taking
that's
Williams
late,
at
man. That might be
15
your
overall?
RB4. That might be your RB4.
The only person who's going to be taking Williams as high is Mario Camera.
Which
That's it. It's the only person.
I mean, we just talked about him, Aaron Jones, right?
Yeah.
In a redraft, I would much rather have Aaron Jones this year.
All day.
They're both in a split committee.
Skilled positions.
But
Denver's had the most
Aaron
skilled
Jones-
positions ever. Like since Peyton's been QB, it's the most weapons they've had.
Yeah. The RB8 is throwing me off here. That's
Bonkers.
That's high. That's high. All right, guys. I have one more for you. Guys,
All
my
right.
personal favorite.
Oh, no más.
Oh no. Mas.
Okay. Yeah, this is
Shaq or Five Guys.
this is tough.
This could be a
This is really tough.
this might hurt some friendships here.
I've never eaten at a Shake Shack.
Wow.
What is wrong with you?
Wow.
All right, House. Well,
We got to get this man at Shake Shack.
when we
Well,
do
I don't even know where a Shake Shack is.
there's one downtown, one at Easton.
I don't go downtown. I
All
don't go
right,
here.
we'll go next, but
Pick him up and take him.
yeah, Five Guys. This is what I'm gonna say, House. I'm gonna describe it for you, okay? Since you've never been there.
Five Guys
Five
is
Guys-
overpriced.
They're both Shake Shack is I think actually a little bit less expensive. Five Guys is expensive. They do make Ryan's right. Shake Shack overall is better. The shakes are better. The burgers, they have a stuffed mushroom cheeseburger. That's great.
Sounds terrible.
Oh, it's amazing. But their burgers are fantastic. Five Guys has better fries, and that's it. Shake Shack is better in every other area. Do I like a Five Guys? For sure. I'll never turn that down, but I do like Shake Shack more. It's the closest thing to an In-N-Out burger. I think you
Never
can
had
get.
that either.
Jesus
Man.
Christ.
You would
You
think
need
a
to
guy
live.
that looks like me would have eaten.
You
at
need to
all these
live, my
places.
friend.
No, we're getting, you know what, for that golf outing we're going to do, House, before we get there, we're going to have Shake Shack.
Okay, I'll take
You're
your word
smiling
for
the
it.
whole time.
I'm
This
loving
should have been
Ryan over here.
Alex's.
I'm looking at the. I Google imaged it to see what it looks like.
Shake Shack?
Yeah,
It's good.
Google
Shake
imaged
Shack's
it.
good.
that's all I can go on.
Is there a
House.
rainbow going to a pot of gold? Is that what it
No.
is?
No.
Looks like
Yeah.
Shake Shack takes the crown.
Yeah. That's so
And it-
disappointing, House.
So is Shake Shack better than Swenson's? Because that's the
Yes.
hot thing, right?
Hands down.
Hands
Hands
down.
down. Swenson
taking-
is the most overrated place.
I don't
hate
think
to
it's
say it.
I don't think it's good, but people love it. So
Mario
I'm taking
loves it.
Five Guys. I'm taking Five Guys over Shake Shack or over Swenson's. I think
Yeah.
Swenson's ass. To be honest with you.
Swenson's. Culver's is better than Swenson's.
Okay.
I've never had Culver's either.
Jeez, you know what, House?
We didn't have any in Pittsburgh, bro.
What did you guys have? Like just
Hmm?
diner burgers where you
Yeah. What
come
do
in
you got?
and
You got the
Yeah.
fake paninis place.
yeah,
What is it? Primanti Brothers.
For Manny's,
about
brother. Get a real
Mandy's, yeah.
sandwich.
Primanti's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're crazy. You need to
Get a real
you need
sandwich,
to
bro.
step up your game and get a real burger.
Get out of here. Go cheer for the Pats.
Oh, this sounds like a terrible thing.
It is.
All right, guys. That's our time for tonight. We're a little bit over. We went 10-15, so not terrible. We got a lot in. Had a lot of fun. This was a good episode. I was happy with everything. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter, DadbodFS. Go to our Twitch, our YouTube. We're coming out with an Instagram. We have Facebook. We're coming out with a couple other things. We got some stuff in the work for you guys, so stay tuned. You can catch all our podcasts on all the major platforms, Apple and Spotify and all that. So you know where to see us. For Alex, for House, I'm Rob. Later.
Cheers.